Good evening everyone. Welcome to the February 8th, 2024 Board of Health meeting at 6 o'clock. Agenda 2, roll call.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Gus Steves.
Present.
Kevin Spillane.
Present.
Jasmine Quinones.
Present.
Nick Dado.
Present.
Thank you.
Agenda item 3, accept the minutes for January 11th, 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Marissa, do you happen to have a copy?
I do.
Just to look
Yeah,
at?
I
just
never,
wanna
I didn't see
I do.
the notice there.
check something. Have my phone.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
I motioned. We can continue. I just wanna check something for later.
Yeah, I just wanted to double, I want to quick
What
one.
was first name, so I didn't see that, but.
Did you email these?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because for some reason I forgot my password for my town account, so I can't. I'm so used to doing my Gmail account that I forgot my town password.
It's a long walk to the IT office, I understand.
I know. It's all right over there. But it only took
It's okay.
Could I also approve the vote?
Nick Dado.
Yes.
Thank you. Jasmine Quinones.
Yes.
Gus Steves.
Yep.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Kevin Spillane.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Agenda item number 4, citizens forum. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak to the board on anything that's not on the agenda? Seeing none? Okay, it's 6:03. I would like to stop the regular meeting for a 6:03 public hearing, request for a total waiver for 145 Lebanon Hill. Is there
No one's
anyone,
here.
is there anyone from 145 Lebanon Hill? Okay, I would like to stop this at 6:03. No show for 145 Lebanon Hill, and I'd like to begin.
Do we have, before we go on, do we have anything, did they send anything in or anything like that?
They did send a request for the fee waiver. Does anyone have it? Do you have
It's
it?
not on the electronic.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, no, we
I
got
did
that.
see
yeah.
It was on the attachments with
Right.
the agenda and the minutes.
I did see it. I just read it.
No, that's not.
I read it too.
Oh, yeah.
I have it right here if you want me to read it.
Can you read it, please?
Do we have a
Just a
pra-
quick
sorry.
paragraph.
Dated January 23rd, 2024, to whom it may concern, on Wednesday, January 18th, I put out my trash and recyclables like I do every week. When I returned home from work about 4 p.m., I was missing my recycling bin that I had left out. I had my husband check to see if he saw it up or down the street when I came home. I rechecked on Friday when it was light out to see if I saw the recycling bin. I was unable to find a bin. I am not sure what happened to it. My guess is someone took it. I did have a sticker inside the lid with our address. I called the health department on Monday the 22nd to find out how to get a replacement bin. The lady I spoke to was very nice and explained to me that the cost of $60 to replace this item. While I understand the bins are not free, I also do not feel that I should be held responsible for a stolen bin. I have lived in Southbridge for almost 6 years now, and this is the first time anything like this has happened to us. I am asking for the town to waive the fee for the replacement as it was stolen, not a damaged can I am looking to replace. I thank you for your cooperation. Denise Rodriguez, 145 Lebanon Hill Road.
Thank you.
Did she report to the police?
Doesn't say.
I read
yes.
that too, but I figured she was gonna be here to,
I did. assumed
I'm
she
not
would be
aware
here
if
too.
she total the total stolen.
Do we have any
Lost.
precedent of waivers in the past for something like this?
No.
That were in favor of the request for the waiver? Okay.
Okay.
okay, it's 6,
Do you-
Do we,
So,
we gotta
under
vote
what-
on it no matter what, right?
What happens if, for some reason, they find the toter? or somebody else does?
If the toter is located, then we will
Reclaim them?
thank you, yes.
I have a question. I noticed in our upcoming, trash pickup documentations, there is a line item that says replacement charge 60.
Yeah.
Do we have something in place now for that, or is that something new that's gonna start with the new trash schedule? In other words, have we charged people in the past for replacing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
oh,
yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay,
I
so
just,
we got-
absolutely.
$50 for trash,
Yeah,
60
that's-
for recycle.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's just, for me, it's just kinda hard because then, like, you know, like every time something, like something gets stolen or I don't know. You know where I'm going with it.
Slippery
I don't know.
slope.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and although I will say, y'all know where my office is, I have seen people with, so, like,
Dragging them across
Dragging
the
them?
street.
drag, like, and I'm like,
Do go
like, what are
missing.
you doing?
They
Like,
do.
with a whole trash can of, like, going
does
past
happen.
my office, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm saying these, you know, they do happen, you know, but then it's like, okay, if once the word gets out that we're, you know,
That's a good point.
and you know,
It's a
now
very
we're
good
gonna
point.
have, you know, shit, I'm gonna do it myself.
And then-
Yeah.
All right, now, we gotta continue with the 6:05 hearing.
No, you notice it, we'll let you do it.
Yeah.
We're having a 6:05 hearing. This is not an open, this is not open to the public. The hearing's open to the public, but the comments are not open to the public.
Oh,
Okay.
Mr. Chair, do you wanna consider that waiver even though they're absent because they sent a letter in, or do you wanna move?
I wanna
Table
move,
it.
I wanna move forward until,
Okay.
see what happens after that. Because they might have found it, they didn't report it, something, so I would like to leave that as is. I'm sure they'll notify us either way.
Okay.
Moving on to the 6:05 hearing at 6:07. An invitation to appear of the owner of 14 South Street.
Not here.
The owner of 14 South Street.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we postpone this indefinite.
Do I hear a second?
Second for discussion. Do you have anything you'd like to say, Dan?
Well, regarding 14th South Street, I did receive a letter from the owner, Tracy Atwater.
Yep.
Identifies himself as manager of Gelbaum LLC. Referencing 14th South Street and the conditions that were found by the health department. I'll read it verbatim. Please schedule an inspection for 14 South Street, Southbridge at your convenience per the requested outside cleanup of this property. Please call me at 508-450-4243 to meet at the scheduled time. Gelbaum LLC is currently negotiating the sale of this property. If the sale does not take place, Gelbaum LLC will proceed with the project completion with the current building permit. Could you please update the address in your records for Gelbaum LLC to registered agent Gelbaum LLC, East Main Street, East Brookfield, Mass. I did speak with Mr. Atwater today, and he did indicate that corrective actions were instituted this week.
Mhm.
And I'm referring to the cleaning of the outside, the rubbish, accumulation of rubbish and trash on the outside area.
How about securing the
I
building?
did go out there with the building inspector today, Julian, and sure enough, corrective actions were
That's good.
initiated, which is good. I do have a meeting with Mr. Atwater next week, Friday, February 16th.
Did he secure it? Remember that was an issue too, with the sock? He did not, it's still open. That's not
So
good.
in your view, was your visit satisfactory?
It was satisfactory in the essence that the rubbish was removed, but
That's a plus.
It's not secured.
but I can tell you that still deficient in proper securement of the dwelling. So
Okay.
that is my hopes to address that face-to-face next week when I meet with them, on site. And other issues.
If I may, since the building inspector's here too, with this, in his wording in his letter, he said, if the sale doesn't go through, he's gonna continue
I was gonna ask that.
with his existing building permit.
We'll proceed with the project completion with the current building permit, that is the statement.
And so, is there a way, I know we discussed it previously, where the Board of Health can be involved in making sure that property's satisfaction as far as everything to proceed on that building permit? You know how there's things like other departments, has gotta be taxes all paid up and everything?
We have not, that.
Make sure his
that
fines have
is-
been paid
Yes,
through
that's
the Board of
something
Health Department
we
before the
do
permit goes
want
through?
to have complete, be completed. We're just, we have not done so. That will
That's why I wanted to ask.
necessitate the approval of the town manager.
Okay, that's why I wanted to ask that.
Okay.
And you're referring to the issuance of our fines, if they're unpaid, that can adversely affect the building permit process?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see,
Yes,
if
yes.
they go together or it doesn't affect the
We would
building
like to see
permit.
that, and this is,
Okay.
would be an excellent case, but we are not there yet. So, if completed and satisfactory for the correction of orders that were issued by, the health department, once those are completed, we're done with, and then it will fall with, the building department as they see fit, moving forward.
So how do we, what's the process for us to have the Board of Health get on top of that, like tag team with that building permit side, where we make sure all Board of Health fees are paid before, is that something?
Well, as I said before, I think this is in the wheelhouse of the town manager, Jack Joban, for him to make that connection and approve that process.
Have we reached out to Jack yet, as far as,
I have.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
that's good.
The invitation to, the 6:05 invitation,
Gus got a question.
oh, yeah, I thought you said, all right, go
Yeah, I
ahead.
have a good question, actually, it's through you to Mike. I saw you were shaking your head there. Is that, the permits are not valid anymore? Is that what you're trying to say?
He never had any valid building permit or sprinkler permit, because he still owes back taxes, which have not been cleared, so he can't get a sign off to issue the
Okay.
permits. So,
Okay, has he ever gone through like planning to do any redevelopment of that project?
you would have to check with Peg, I don't know about that. The only permits was issued was in the beginning, back when Andy had issued an order through the Board of Health and I issued an order to Board and Secure. He pulled the permit to put in the windows that were blown out.
Yeah, okay.
And then he did some roof repairs. Both those permits have since been closed out. There are no active permits. If he's gone through planning and development for any type of grant money, you would have to check with Peg.
Okay.
And as of last week, he still owed taxes, so he's still not getting a permit.
Okay, perfect, good to know.
It's 6:08, the invitation to appear is closed now. And I would like to open up the 6:07 meeting, public hearing, to request for fee waiver for Southbridge Food Share.
Yep,
That would be-
that's me.
Can you come up, please?
I will come up. Nice to
You can even have a seat if you'd like.
Yeah, it's easier. I'll be less fidgety. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.
My name's Robin Weber. I'm a volunteer at the Southbridge Food Share, which is a food share program in
Yeah.
Southbridge. And I am here on behalf of the organization as the treasurer to make a request that going forward, you would consider waiving our fees, which are, last year we paid like we had to pay $200. And the reason I'm asking, I know you'll say, well, do it for you, we've gotta do it for all the other nonprofits. And the truth of the matter is, we're a different nonprofit, right? We aren't a church, we aren't a school, we aren't a big agency with a big budget. We are a group, a very small group of 100% volunteers
Yep.
who get no government money. Everything we have to do, we have to get through donations. We have a small savings at this point, which is bigger, but now it goes down every year about $15,000 because that's what we have to draw on to make our budget balance. Donations have been down from individuals. quite a bit. There's a whole widening of things happening in town, so I think it just gets scattered, you know, the fridge and this thing and that kind of
Yeah, I know.
so I just wanted, like, the two main points I have is, one, we are not a nonprofit, we are a negative profit, you know. That's where my budget is. It's
Ditto.
it's in the red. And I still would volunteer to do that. And the other thing is that we're not a big nonprofit, you know, we're a little mom and popper, which serves. Last Friday when I worked as a volunteer, we had over close to 30 families and over 75 individuals that service. That was in one day. So we were open 3 days a week, so you can tell that it's just growing exponentially in terms of people's needs, really huge. And it's really hard to get donations. Now, luckily, we can purchase food from the Worcester County Food Bank at a very small rate, but that's not all the food. In fact, we've started to have to go back twice a month to get more food, as well as buy food. We buy
Well,
food
you have a
from
great program for sure.
Yeah.
We hear a lot of good things, and
Yeah.
it's difficult to hear bad things, but you have a great program.
Right, well, I
And we're
appreciate
thankful
that.
for what you do.
Only because of people like Kat and the other volunteers that are they're just tremendous, but we're also aging, so if you know any young people home during the day, you might wanna push them away, cause we're all getting kinda old to be lifting boxes and beans. All right, thank you very much. Now, what happens now? Do I stay while you vote, or do I?
Does anyone want to make a
I
motion?
make a
for-
motion that we stay consistent with our last vote at the last meeting on the food pantries and
Which was
waive the
what?
fee 100%.
Yeah, we waived the fee.
Waive
I
the
have
fee
no problem.
100%.
Second it,
I have no
I
problem with that.
second it, yeah.
Good. I'm fine with that.
So your fee is waived completely.
Don't
Thank you
get
very
me
much.
wrong.
Now,
First
you
we
can
gotta
just
vote.
get Maritza to
I
be
don't
nice
know.
to us.
Yeah,
That won't happen.
that fee, that fee we can't waive.
Alright, we don't mind, we are there for your feedback. We work very hard to get those comments.
Thank you.
1 second, Rod, we have to vote on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, thank you.
Gus Steves,
Yes.
Kevin Spillane,
Yes.
Nick Dado,
Yes.
Dan Grabowski.
Yes.
Jasmine Canonis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Fee waiver passes,
Well,
congratulations.
there you go, it's like $200 a month.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Okay,
You're welcome.
it's 6:18, I'd like to close the public hearing for the fee waiver for Selfish Food Share. Our next agenda item is number 5, is blight update, A Mill Street.
Yeah, so I've asked our wonderful building inspector, Mr. Mike Julian, to,
Nice to see you again. Stay safe.
to clarify the conditions at Mill Street at this point.
Alrighty, how's it going, y'all?
Yeah.
I met with the town manager, Counselor Lazo, Rob Caprera, interim building commissioner Teddy Tatro last week. We're working on a plan. The counselor that we're using cannot get involved with 18 Mill Street, unfortunately. Right, because there's a conflict there. However, we are working on a plan. Any further questions on 18 Mill Street, put it in writing, give it to me, and I'll submit it to the town manager, and we can go from there. As far as the building, structurally, Dan and I went out there today, we did an inspection. It's no worse than it was a couple weeks ago. However, going back to our site walkthrough,
Yep.
like I said then, it's gonna come down, and it's coming down a little piece at a time.
It is.
So,
Yep. Pretty sure.
that's what I've got for you.
So what do you have any feeling for what the plan is likely to look like at this point?
I don't know if the town manager will reach out to different council, but Teddy and I have our own ideas and thoughts behind it, which we are implementing now. We're putting all the letters together to move forward with it.
To do
And
what?
whether we tear down part of it,
Okay,
not all of it,
like the front section, basically?
not the front,
The back.
the back,
That's
where
the
it's
biggest
actually crumbling.
At Abacus.
Right.
Okay.
But again, we're working with the town manager, and whether or not he seeks an alternate legal counsel, that's totally in his court, but Teddy and I are gonna move forward with what we can do as building inspectors.
How big is it a threat? Because we took a sidewalk not too long ago, and obviously it's kicking out at certain spots.
Yep.
How much of a threat, if any, is that to that business that's there? The back, I mean, there's fencing there.
Right,
But,
so
I mean, eventually, some of that might, I mean,
the collapse zone was the fencing was 8 feet further out than where you see it now. Now, whether the business moved it or somebody took it upon themselves to move it closer to the building, that's on them. If the business moved it and it collapses and it hits their cars, I don't know what to tell you. Same thing with the fencing in the front. I had the fencing in the front all the way out to the edge of the road. That's been moved back to the inside of the sidewalk because the businesses feel they want to use the sidewalk.
That's interesting.
The actual collapse zone, really, it should go across the street to
Yes.
block off Mill Street.
1.5
However, if we do that, then all those businesses aren't going to be able to make access to the back of the building.
Right.
Mike, did you take pictures of where you placed the fence? Just
Right,
so that
that's-
it's not on us if it gets moved.
Yeah, I do have pictures.
Good.
Yep.
because we would need documentation to show us where the fence was and where it is now. Someone has moved that, and
Yeah.
what, and it wasn't us, so,
Right.
I mean,
Now the fence has blown over a couple of times, and DPW has been down there and reset the fence. That's who also brought in the sandbags. They knew where the fence was to begin with, so
Did they put it back where it was originally, or did they put it back
Yeah.
in a new?
yeah. As far as I know, it was put back originally to where it was originally, and
Moved it
yeah,
back.
it moved, and not me did it. So I don't know what I don't know what answer you're looking for, but not me did it.
Gotcha.
It's like raising kids.
Could we like chalk mark the sidewalk and say, leave this thing where we put it for safety reasons?
If you're gonna mark it, then I would do it with spray paint, especially
Or something-
because with the
something
snow,
like that,
right, because with the
something like
snow now, and we get a storm, it's gonna take the chalk right off of the
That's true.
sidewalk,
That's a good
so.
point. Do you think that would make sense to do?
If you wanna take more pictures and do more documentation as to where the fence goes, I can certainly do that. I'll get the DPW back down there, we'll move it back to where I originally had it. Document it, take pictures, measurements, whatever we need to do. You know,
That's a pretty good idea.
I say it gets moved back,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
but unless we physically see somebody move it,
Right.
who are we gonna point fingers at?
That is the problem.
Right,
We don't have to worry about who we're pointing fingers at, we just don't wanna point at us, that's all.
right.
I don't want people to be pointing fingers, I'm working towards somebody getting hurt.
Right.
When that building comes down, somebody's getting hurt. So, do we have does anybody have a convenient small wildlife camera?
Yeah,
So
oh, I'm
put it in the
not
building
starting
and
this.
watch it?
I don't know legalities.
Not gonna go on the record with any of
I'm
that.
not doing this,
I don't
not
know.
today.
First off, it's private property, so I don't know, so we have the right to put cameras on private property.
That's true, that's a good point.
No.
George, would you like to say something?
In all honesty, if you were all that concerned, you would follow what the building inspector said and put the street, close it, because if the collapse happens with somebody walking in the gutter, guess what?
That's true, that's a good point
The way
too.
that fence is,
That's a good point.
it's against what he suggested. And that fence was put there as a matter of convenience for the business around it, because if you did,
That is a good
if you
point.
did what if I understood right, the collapse zone is usually the height of the building. So if it
Yeah,
falls
plus
this
like
way,
50 feet.
Time of that, yeah, it's usually 1.5.
So it would hamstring the businesses in the back. And if anybody's been back there, you'd see where the collapse is actually.
Right, we were
Oh,
back
yeah,
there.
oh, yeah, we were there.
So, I mean,
On that
whether
side,
the
the
fence
collapse
is
is gonna
moved
be
back to the
right.
curb 2 feet from where it's at now, in the middle of the sidewalk, is gonna be immaterial. It's, that building comes down, anybody on that sidewalk or in that gutter, I hope they hear the rumbling first and run.
Yeah.
I mean,
True. Absolutely.
I see DPW down there pulling the fence out, bringing it back to the curb, and it just, I think what went to the plow, it pushes the stuff there. I don't think there's somebody
Could be.
intentionally
That could be true.
moving, it might be kids doing it, pushing the fence back. I mean, to put all kinds of resources down there to move a fence 2 feet is really gonna amount to nothing.
No, that's true.
You know, the building inspector has made a recommendation where it actually should be, and the town has taken the stand to protect the businesses in the back to be in business. I just hope people would realize what's going on there. So just, you know, marking the sidewalk, pushing it back. I mean, if you go down there right now, it's probably in the middle of the sidewalk, and then some of it's to the curb.
I'm sure.
Some of it's towards the grass.
Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you guys anyway. I'm not gonna tell you how to do your business.
Kevin?
Yeah, it is a public sidewalk, it's whether, recently there was some staging put up on Main Street. When you put staging up over the sidewalk on Main Street, you have to still access the sidewalk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious if it is a situation where, for the use of the sidewalk, you want it at the edge of the sidewalk, would an overhead,
This building is in imminent danger of collapsing, so it doesn't fall under the same guidelines as what you're referring to is in the safeguarding construction, chapter 33 of the building code.
Yeah.
Where if you're doing work over a public way, you have to make a sealed walkway so that they can walk underneath the station and not get hit by debris. But that's not under conditions of a seriously impaired building, that's just under normal work conditions.
Right.
They have a chapter in the code book specifically spells out what safety precautions you need to take to protect the public. So that's two different things.
the brick facade on the outside is not structural to the building itself, it's a stone structure, correct?
No, it's brick inside. It's brick and brick. You got a brick inside substructure with a brick facade on the outside with an air pocket in between them. So yes, the facade is letting go. What happens is once the facade cracks and opens up and the weather can get in, now the water can get to the substructure and break the substructure. And if you look in the back corner by Abacus where the actual collapse was, you can see the cracks already underneath the supporting beam. So
I'm familiar with the property, in the back section, that L section, I believe, was put on later, in
Yep.
the 70s. I totally agree that's modern brick on brick. I'm talking about the front structure, the 5-story factory structure being stone.
That's brick on brick.
It's brick and brick,
It's
yeah.
brick and
Not
brick
the
all the
main,
way.
not the main building.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. And instead of
Kevin, we're
instead of
talking
air,
about-
there's water.
I know what you're talking about.
We're talking about Mill Street,
Yeah.
we're not talking
I
about
spent
building
a bit of
code.
time in that building.
All right.
I'm looking for pictures because I got lots of pictures. I'm just looking to verify.
I realize the
Good
inside
question.
was extensively plastered over with a masonry material, but underneath that masonry material.
Kevin, directed to the board, we're not directing the
sorry.
questions to the
Sorry.
building inspector. Does anybody else have anything to say on Mill Street?
I'd just like to make one point, sir. It is a historic structure, and I hope there's some
We'll do our,
continued meetings on,
we're doing our best we can, we're taking site assignments, we're doing everything that we can.
okay.
Does anybody else want to comment on any more on Mill Street? Moving on to agenda item 6, old business review with the possible vote on Board of Health amended
Thank you,
fee schedule. Thank you, Mike.
So in order to understand the intended changes, Maritza had done a wonderful job, and I hope you have copies of it. Red is indicative of being removed and green added. And this pertains to,
Kevin?
again, they pertain to the fees we discussed at the previous meeting. I should make note, one additional one that Maritza and I discussed. 2, I should say. Trash and recycling delivery flat fee, $40. And also the increase for hauler of offensive materials, small haulers, 10 or fewer wheels. You can see that we decided to increase that from $100 to $250. So that those are the two items most noteworthy.
That, just a quick explanation of that one, that basically, you just mean basically trash trucks, right? Is that one?
Yes, garbage hauler, that charge is paid.
Are there other things that would apply to, like sewage haulers and those kinds of things too?
Trash, garbage, trash.
Dan, you brought it up, I was gonna question it, that trash recycling delivery flat fee, $40. So if somebody needs to replace it, it's $65 plus the $40 to drop it off.
That's correct, and that will be in concert with what Casella is planning on charging as well.
I gotta say something real quick. Some of those fees that are like with the new, you know, boy, that
The curbside?
yeah, that's gonna really affect a lot of people.
Yes.
You know, like there's already no rent control here. You know, the landlords are gonna put it on the tenants, and you know, really concerns me about like the domino effect of it. And I just wanna, you know, from other meetings and other things that, you know, systemically we're seeing it, you know, the homelessness rate is gonna go astronomical through the roof. Some of these charges is just so like unbearing, you know, for individuals that are it's gonna get put on. No, I'm just saying.
No,
like, it's
I
just like,
agree
what-
with you,
like, what in the heck,
and
yeah.
many residents have voiced their opinion there.
Oh,
And they
okay,
echo
yeah.
the same sentiment
Yeah.
we're in, that the
Like
costs.
even an additional $50 a month added or whatever.
Sure,
like even
the
that's-
cumulative effect
yeah.
is gonna be hundreds of
Exactly,
dollars.
yeah.
We
Mhm.
recognize that. It's really out of our hands. But what we wanted to is address is, and be fair, and be equal to same charge that seller will be charging. So we will bring, and deliver these toters when necessary. But for the most part, the seller will be taking on that responsibility. Right? And we just, again, wanted to be in tandem with that, same cost and be fair. As the board. Because we still have toters on site at the solid waste treatment facility.
And those will still be able to get used.
They're new, they still can
Oh,
be used,
okay.
yeah, both trash and recycle. We have more trash toters.
I thought they were at the DPW. Is that-
No, they're not at the
No,
They were at one time.
were they?
Yeah,
So-
the parking lot was filled.
Real with the
Years
yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
And we still have the capacity to do it, we have a vehicle, small truck that can do this.
These are all calendar year permits, correct?
That's my intent to do that.
Can I make a motion,
1 second,
No, you can go ahead.
you all set?
I'll ask the question after.
What, you have,
People speak in citizens forum?
I didn't hear citizens forum, and you bypassed it. You had the hearings, and then you went right to blight.
well, we had citizens forum, there was nobody in the audience.
Oh, it's my fault then, but it'd be under old business anyways, I think, that I could bring something up.
No, this was a citizens forum item,
No, under old business.
old business is for the board.
Okay,
Are
well,
you here as a citizen or?
a little
something
bit of
else.
both. A little bit of
We had a citizens
No
forum,
vote.
when it comes to old business, that's just strictly Board of Health,
I
old
didn't hear
business.
the old business, that was probably.
But we're not even, we're still on,
The new business, I didn't hear
I
it.
didn't realize the town council
I'll,
ran our meetings.
I'll take it up at the next meeting.
okay, thank you very much.
can I make a motion
Go ahead.
to accept this document as written?
Second. Does this have to go to public hearing, anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
It does. Okay. So then do we wanna set up a public hearing in this motion, or do we do it separately?
Probably separately, because you have to accept this first.
Well, we have to accept this and then go to another hearing, so we can maybe put it on next month's, have a public hearing on this, is that how it'll work? We would put on next month's Right now, we have to vote to pass
Yeah,
this
just
to the hearing
To
stage.
agree with this.
So we have to vote
Substance
on
of
this
this.
now in order to bring it to the next stage.
That's fine.
Mhm.
Okay.
Alright, so we have a motion by Kevin Spillane to accept Board of Health fee schedule as written, second by Gus Steves.
Yep.
Jasmine Canones?
Yes.
Nick Dato?
Yes.
Gus Steves?
Yes.
Kevin Spillane?
Yes.
Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Motion passes, thank you.
Agenda item number 7, new business.
Really?
I wanted to address participation from other boards, commissions, appointed authorities in the town and in our meeting, Dan. You know, I think it's completely fair that we have a citizens forum, and I feel that.
We had, I ordered citizens.
No, I know, but let me finish. I just think that the place for other board members to participate in our meeting is during citizens forum. And I just want that on the record. We don't conduct ourselves in a town council meeting, in a building commission meeting, in a planning board meeting, as members of that board or as authorities of the Board of Health. We are individuals that serve on a board. We have no individual authority.
That's
Right.
true. Unless we
So to
have
have
emergencies.
members of other boards coming in here and hijacking the agenda and the
Right.
time that we have to participate and serve this board is absolutely ridiculous.
I agree.
Agreed.
Respect the board just like we respect
I
every other
agree
board
100%.
commission.
Agreed.
And that's it. It just, yes, I'm irritated about it, but it's been fairly consistent at just about every meeting that we have members of other boards here. I don't wanna call in any other
No,
individuals out. It's not about George, it's not about individuals.
Totally agreed.
Agreed. Agreed.
So-
Agreed.
And I think, you know, when stepping forward, we should ask that question. Identify yourself. Are you here as a citizen during, you know, state your name, state your address. You're not here as a town councilor.
This is
We
true.
don't have a liaison position for the town council on this board. So there's no place for their official participation here as an individual.
That's a good point.
That's all I have.
That's a good point. I
Go
do
ahead,
have a
Gus.
question. I did email Dan about Katie Brook.
Right.
So did you have a chance to take a look at it?
I did. I am, still in the process of reviewing it, giving it some thought. Looking at the legalities and
Okay.
certainly the possibility of the health department conducting inspections
Well, I think.
and ordering,
Mhm.
possible ordering, corrective actions,
Okay,
okay? I am, I'll need more time.
okay. Because I think that's a concern, because I know Concom, it came up at Concom last time, and they basically can't do anything because it's not town property. DPW can't do anything because it's not town property, but we can, because we have the authority to deal with public health issues. And this could be a
Well,
public health issue.
we
Housing
may,
issue,
we
so-
not, that with, when you're dealing with Katy Brook,
Right,
body of water,
right.
in my experience, I've never issued corrective orders
Mhm.
that may be involved with a case like this.
Right.
So, I think I would emphasize that although the certain entities,
Mhm.
okay, do not have the ability to enforce such things, they should not be using the health department for that purpose.
No, that's not, my concern is, I brought it up, because my concern is that if this kind of flooding continues, it could become a health and safety risk for the people that live in those houses.
I understand.
Therefore, I think we have a vested interest as a Board of Health, protecting public health, to make sure that whoever owns the property that has the blockage on it, that
Mhm.
causes this flooding to happen, makes a real effort to get rid of that blockage, because it's causing harm to other people down the street,
Okay.
other citizens in our community.
I understand the
That's my
logic there,
concern.
but again, I think it will require more review on my part to see if this is actually a process that can be conducted.
Okay, no, that's what I
Yeah,
hope for.
yeah.
But what's
You
going on?
take all the time.
What can we do?
Thank you.
I said.
Yes.
Is that it for number 7?
Makes sense.
New business? Okay.
Said
Agenda,
enough today.
number 8, Chairman's announcements. I just have one, just the board members, if anyone has anything that they have concerns with or questions, feel free to put it on any meeting, on any agenda, because it does save a lot of time.
Right.
So we don't have to at the end of the meeting, goes to the, so, it could be anything, we can always put it on the agenda, you know, we can put it under a title, whatever, and one more announcement, what I do like about this board, I like the honesty. This is,
We're cutthroat.
I mean, nobody hides anything, and that's what I like, because at least we're honest and we're fair with one another, and we wanna be fair to the public too.
We're cutthroat ones.
No one here is any better than anybody else, and we just try to be fair and do the best that we can.
Yep.
And agenda item number 9, health director's announcements.
I have two announcements. One is going to be directed to the board members. And it involves what I see in a very important issue. That needs to be addressed before April 1st. And I would ask the board to plan on a discussion pertaining to the Board of Health Code of Regulations, Chapter 2, Storage and Disposal of Solid Waste. Amendments will need to be made.
Okay.
And this will also necessitate a special meeting. And I think it underscores the importance to have this done and identified and really looked at in a timely way and an expedited
Right.
way.
Sure.
Because the rollout is April 1st.
Oh, okay.
Just want to bring that to your attention, so if you guys could put it on your radar, so to speak,
Yeah.
okay?
Did you want to
And-
schedule, where do you need time for?
That is something that I'm going to review with Maritza.
Okay,
Exactly
gotcha.
all the parameters and the details of when we need to do it, what we're asking, so it's very clear and transparent to all board members of exactly what we believe the amendments should be.
Gotcha.
Secondly, I'd like to just identify to the board members that Town Manager Jack Jovan announced during a department head meeting today that continued efforts are underway to address blighted properties. Most recently, a meeting was conducted between the town manager, Chairman Lazo, building department officials, and Attorney Caprera. And one of the highlighted topics that was brought forth was 20 Brick Row. So there is significant movement with addressing the situation there.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks, Dan.
Do they happen to bring up any other topics, any other properties then?
They did discuss other properties, but I can't comment on that meeting.
Agenda item number 10, board member announcements. Kevin?
I just wanna somehow bring up, or bring it to everybody's attention, I've seen a lot of posts on social media accounts about how this town looks aesthetically, and I have to agree. I drive a lot of roads in Southbridge with my job. There are numerous properties in this town that I think us as a board somehow should become more involved with, sending out orders of conditions, start issuing 21Ds. I mean, there's properties in this town that, just in the center of town alone, I mean, that'll be good. And the other thing I think we should, if we can, address, I know that our town bylaws or regulations state that you're allowed to have 2 unregistered motor vehicles on one property. But to me, when you have a vehicle or 2 vehicles that are 9 inches into the mud, trees going out of them, there's gotta be somehow, we as a Board of Health could issue an order of conditions to have that cleaned up.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I don't know what the gray area is, because it's still 2 unregistered on that one property, but obviously they're not working on them, it's not just stored for the winter.
No.
I don't know if there's a way around that.
Well, there is. The regulations here are blighted properties. A bylaw to manage and control blighted properties in the town of Southbridge would supersede that. And it's identified in section 9302 definitions where blighted property would constitute inoperable, neglected motor vehicles, depending on the amount. So let's just think, we call them sinkers. They're sinking in the ground. That right there is deemed a violation of this code. And also, it is deemed a public health nuisance.
Mhm.
So yes, 21Ds can be issued if if in fact somebody doesn't abide by a correction notice first,
So I think
to
we should-
remove the vehicles.
I think
And then those
besides
21Ds can be issued.
Besides that, I think, like I said, there is numerous properties throughout town that I
You,
think orders need to start being handed out and
well, let's have the list. I mean, we have one, and let me just revert back to it's motor vehicles, but also motorcycles, boats,
RVs.
inoperable machinery. That could be open-ended, okay? But really, the emphasis there is neglected, inoperable.
Right.
So we would really have to look at that with more emphasis as to what, again, it constitutes inoperable, neglected. If it's a sinker, as I said, pretty easy, but that would have to be just screened during an inspection. It can be done. It's written right here, and we could apply that provision of the code.
We have a complaint form that covers concerns for blighted properties or property conditions.
Mhm.
Okay,
We have a
excellent.
complaint
We have a complaint form,
online.
which is general, and
Or you
Anybody
can just
can
shoot
fill
us
that
an email.
Is that on the website?
That's it. Yep, the
Yeah.
complaint form. Mhm.
and we would like to,
I was thinking
Have
more
that.
for the citizens, not
yes,
necessarily.
yes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and we,
Yep.
we, again, do put
Anyone
an
can fill it
emphasis on that those are completed, okay? With as much information as one sees fit, the complaint. And then we look at the nature of the complaint, pretty straightforward, and we act on it as we see fit.
Mhm.
the only other thing I wanna say is, Dan, thank you for holding another site visit on those four properties. I know I called for it,
That was good.
had a family medical emergency, I couldn't make
Yes,
it,
yes.
but
Well, you're
I
welcome
think that
back.
does good to actually
It
go
does,
there and
it
physically
does,
see.
it does. We had a good visit.
We
Yeah,
did.
we had a
Yeah,
good
very
visit for sure.
informative.
So we will continue with those, and
I
we
think they're
discuss.
positive doing that.
Yeah, very positive, yeah, I encourage that, and perhaps next month we could do something, month after, again, weather dependent, time, and,
That's
so with that said, if you do have a list, Kevin, please,
Yeah.
proceeding that to
I'll
me,
email
and
it,
perhaps
agenda.
team, myself, and the other inspector, Dan Fuentes, you can take a look. Perhaps we could integrate some of these into our next visits.
Yeah.
Well, that's
We
what
all
I
go
said.
out.
That's what I'm kinda getting at,
Sure.
it's more or less the blighted properties are the ones that, trash and
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
vegetation growth and, a lot of them, like, I stopped in a department the other day and I asked for a list of houses that are registered with the town that are vacant. And I was kinda taken back when I received 2 pages of it, and I drove past quite a few of these. And
mhm.
They're pretty there.
so it's something that can not be done with a site visit or kinda getting Robbie Concur involved, but we can do the orders of conditions.
Oh, we could do
and
anything, sure,
Start doing it
absolutely.
that way. I think it made a big difference with that last order of conditions we did on 14 South Street.
Oh, yes,
When he started,
yes,
when he
yes.
started getting his 21Ds, he acted very quickly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Agreed.
Thank you.
Gus,
Other than the thing I brought up about Katie Brook, have anything else?
thank you. Jasmine?
The only thing that I kinda, have is that, there's, as y'all, some of you may or may not know, there's a lot of talk about the school systems and everything that's kinda like going on, and, it's really turning into, a bigger picture, and, I worry about the state of our citizens, I guess, in town, mental health wise, the students,
That's a good
teachers.
point, yeah.
And so, I wish, I'm just kind of thinking outside the box as to, ways that we can, support other, one another, from boards and what we can do, to be supportive. And Gus, you and I were there, on Saturday, and, on my professional side, I'm trying to do more, parent support groups and forums and all those kind of things, but I'm really just worried of the disconnect, that we're in, and
Yeah.
it's just,
Oh, yeah.
really, really, just really traumatizing times, and
Mhm.
a lot of really negative things, you know, and all kinds of papers now are picking it up, and, you know, so I wish for me that there was a way that us, right,
Right.
could figure out a way to, you know, support what's going on. And I don't know, you know, like, I don't have something to present to you, you know, and say, okay, you know, but, you know, I know the Board of Health, you know, we talk about certain things, but I think people also forget that the Board of Health is a lot bigger than just trash
No,
and blight, and, you know, like, you know, so, you know, and so, yeah, well, that kinda,
Is there any way we can assist the schools with counseling along those same lines that you just?
But I-
Is there any way we can assist the schools, in some form of counseling, along the lines of what Jasmine was just talking about?
At this point, no, we don't have the resources. By definition, what do you mean assist?
Honestly, I'm not sure exactly either at this
Yeah.
point. I'm trying to think of what we as a board could possibly do to, help the kids in the schools and their parents and the teachers and whoever that would need some assistance of some sort. And I don't know exactly, because it's, I mean, did you see I don't know if that video was ever put up on.
it
on
was,
YouTube,
yeah,
was
it
I didn't
was,
see it 'cause I
yeah.
was there, so I didn't watch it.
I think
Um,
maybe putting together even like a small resource guide or something,
Something
like,
like that.
What-
you know, like something.
Like,
to-
are you looking at like more education and
What-
I
what-
don't
what-
know,
outreach?
something,
What
yeah.
can the Board of Health, how can the Board of Health get involved with, what can we do as a group somehow to see the need, to look at the whole picture of what's going on with the school, as far as the kids' needs?
Right.
Yeah,
We-
kids and
we
parents, yeah.
can't, you know,
Teachers,
we're
yeah.
not qualified to.
We're
but-
not, we have very
but-
much limitations.
But is there anything that we can do to, anything at all? Maybe we can't think of it now, or maybe, but can we look into somehow
Sure,
to
sure, I think-
assist?
Yeah,
To at least look at the needs, or give them, you know,
We could do that.
And I can think of something and present something, you know, within
that
the
would be
scope
great,
and-
because we're involved in,
Yeah, we can do
we're not just involved in what we're talking, there's other, we can.
Oh, absolutely agree with that.
Wanna do this?
Part of our job is just,
Okay.
to, you know, we can, you know, public welfare and,
Oh, yeah,
our
absolutely.
mental needs part of welfare, we're not doctors or anything, but we can at least maybe do something.
I know somebody that does mental health for a living, believe it or not.
Well, get that person in here, we'll have a person, something that we can do.
Well, they're here
I see the
already.
value in it.
Yeah,
We could do it. What are,
So
absolutely.
maybe look into it somehow, what we can do as a group.
Yeah.
That would,
Sure,
to
sure.
extend our olive branch to the community, to the people who might.
Exactly, that's what I want, like my
Yeah.
board, like, you know, y'all in my tribe.
At least give them some.
Our tribe is like doing something, you know, and we're,
Oh, no,
like, it's not
no,
just
no,
about
that-
trash and
right,
blight.
right,
Like, no, the
exactly.
Board of Health says, hey,
Sure,
we're
sure.
here.
Why
A little
don't
bit
you
of
reach
outreach
out to
goes
the
a long
school
way,
receiver, the chair, yourself, have a meeting, so you can set up a table in the hallway or in a classroom, and that way you can introduce yourselves while the students are changing periods.
I didn't do that with me, Martha.
The chair,
I thought you were gonna do
the
it.
chair,
We like to pass the buck
we
around
have,
here.
we have a nice banner, we have
I'm tight too, I'll
tables
take a
and
buck.
covers.
Oh,
You can
whatever
place
we can figure
brochures,
out.
introduce yourselves.
But you're
We
right,
can-
Chair, there is a lot we can. We
To,
just
to,
gotta
you
put
know,
our
at
heads
least
in
extend,
it.
extend a little, because we always, like when we have,
Stuff we use
our
in
Earth
the-
Day, we extend our, you know, we get the school involved, Jason, the athletic director, gets the school involved with his kids, and you know.
Yes, he does.
give-
That's
give-
right.
To give purpose, but at least to show them that
That
maybe,
respect.
I don't know what that may be, I'm not an expert in that, but whatever you come up with, or the health director.
Yeah, I'll think it's, I'll present something to the board
And-
next
and-
time.
Even just starting with a conversation to this receiver,
That's it.
asking, do you have
Yeah.
adequate resources to address the mental health needs?
Oh, this is
you know,
way past
schools and
way.
families?
This is
I
way
know,
past the
I
receiver.
know.
Yeah, this is like, this is going on a state level now.
No, we can do that, and if you have anything to present or anything, or put
Yeah,
it
I'll think
on
I'll-
next month's agenda or whatever, we'll be glad to hear it, or
Well,
glad to see
I
it.
appreciate this, on honestly, I appreciate the open-mindedness and the support.
No,
So,
no, we'll work together here.
Yeah.
Tanya will be there.
We don't,
yeah, of course,
no one,
Nick is coming with me.
Here, Counselor Shenya volunteered for counseling services. He's gonna help.
So, yeah, but I'll think of something and I'll present it at our next meeting.
no
Thank you.
problem.
If you need anything, let me know.
Nick, you have anything
No,
else
no,
to add?
no, I've said enough, caused enough trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, we can.
Gus, you and I,
Yeah.
we're gonna take care of it.
All right, agenda item 11, schedule next meeting, March 14th, Thursday at 6 PM. Motion.
Second.
Dan Grabowski?
Yes.
Kevin Spillane?
Yes.
Jasmine Canonas?
Yes.
Nick Fato?
Yes.
Gus Steves?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, it's, meeting's adjourned at 6:55.
Ah.